Hello everyone, Disha here. Welcome back to this video. We are going to start with the 24th Shloka and we are going to complete the opulence of the absolute chapter in this video. So let's start. Coming to the 24th Shloka, it says, O priest, O Arjun, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of generals I am the Kartikeya and of bodies of water I am the ocean. Now coming to the explanation of the Shloka. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indralok. Brihaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly, Kartikeya, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders, and of all the bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only give hints of his greatness. Now coming to the 25th Shloka, it says, of the great sages I am Bhirgu. Of vibrations I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices I am the chanting of the holy names Jap. And of immovable things I am the Himalayas. Now coming to the explanation of the Shloka. Brahma, the first living creatures within the universe, created several sons for the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these sons, Bhirgu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, Omkara represents Krishna. Of all the sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Rama is the purest representation of Krishna. Now coming to the 26th Shloka, it says, of all trees I am the banyan tree, and of all the sages among the demigods I am Narad. Of the Gandharvas I am Chitratha, and among the perfected beings I am the sage Kapila. Now coming to the 27th Shloka, it says, of horses know me to be Ukerava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants I am Aravata, and among men I am the monarch. Now coming to the 28th Shloka, it says, of weapons I am the thunderbolt, among cows I am the Surbi, of causes of procreation I am Kandarpa, the god of love, and of serpents I am Vasuki. Now coming to the 29th Shloka, it says, of the many hooded Nagas I am Anant, and among the aquatics I am the demigod Varun. Of departed ancestors I am Aryam, and among the dispensers of law I am Yam, the lord of death. Now coming to the 30th Shloka, it says, among the Daitya demons I am devoted Prahlad, among subduers I am Time, among beasts I am the lion, and among birds I am Garud. Now coming to the explanation of this shloka. Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The son of Aditi are called Adityas and the son of Diti are called Daityas. And the Adityas are devotees of the Lord and all the Daityas are atheistic. Although Prahlad was born in the family of Daityas, he was a great devotee from his childhood. Because of his devotional service and godly nature, he is considered to be the representative of Krishna. There are many subduing principles, but time wears down all things in the material universe and so represents Krishna. Of the many animals, the lion is the most powerful and ferocious, and of the million varieties of birds, Garud, the bearer of Lord Vishnu, is the greatest. Now coming to the 31st shloka, it says, of purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapons I am Ram, of fishes I am the shark, and of flowing rivers I am the Ganges. Now coming to the explanation of the shloka. Of all the aquatics, the shark is one of the biggest and is certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus the shark represents Krishna. Now coming to the 32nd shloka, it says, of all creations I am the beginning and the end and also the middle, O Arjun. Of all sciences I am the spiritual science of the self. Now coming to the explanation of the shloka. Among the created manifestations, the first is the creation of the total material elements. All the agents of creation, maintenance and annihilation are incarnations of the material qualities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, He is the beginning, the middle and the end of all creation. For advanced education, there are various kinds of books of knowledge such as 4 Veds, their 6 supplements, the Vedanta Sutra, books of logic, books of religiosity and the Puranas. So altogether, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Of these, the book which represents Adhyatma Vidya, spiritual knowledge, in particular, the Vedanta Sutra represents Krishna. Among logicians, there are different kinds of argument. Supporting one's argument with evidence that also supports the opposing side is called Jalpa. Merely trying to defeat one's opponent is called Vitanta, but the actual conclusion is called Vada. This conclusive truth is the representation of Krishna. Now coming to the 33rd slok, which says, of letters I am the letter A, and among compound words I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators I am Brahma. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. Akara, the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, is the beginning of the Vedic literature. Without Akara, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, it is the beginning of sound. In Sanskrit, there are also many compound works, of which the dual word, like Ram Krishna, is called Dvandava. In this compound, the words Rama and Krishna have the same form, and therefore the compound is called dual. Among all kinds of killers, time is the ultimate because time kills everything. Time is the representative of Krishna because in due course of time there will be a great fire and everything will be annihilated. Among the living entities who are creators, Brahma, who has 4 heads, is the chief. Therefore, he is the representative of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Now coming to the 34th slok, which says, I am the all-devouring death and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence and patience. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. As soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus death is devouring every living entity at every moment, but the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. And for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. The 7 opulences listed, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience, are considered feminine. If a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. If a man is famous as the righteous man, that makes him glorious. If after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with the good memory or smriti, and the ability not only to read many books on different subject matters but to understand them and apply them when necessary is intelligence, another opulence. The ability to overcome unsteadiness is called firmness or steadfastness. And when one is fully qualified yet is humble and gentle, and when one is able to keep his balance both in sorrow and in the ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience. Now coming to the 35th slok, which says, of the hymns in the Samved, I am Bharat Sam, and of poetry I am Gayatri. Of months I am Marga Sirsa, and of seasons I am flower bearing spring. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. It has already been explained by the Lord that amongst all the Vedas he is the Samved. The Samved is rich with beautiful songs played by the various demigods. One of these songs is the Bharat Sam, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. In Sanskrit, there are definitive rules that regulate poetry, rhyme and meter are not written whimsically, as in much modern poetry. Amongst the regulated poetry, the Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the duly qualified Brahmanas, is the most prominent. The Gayatri Mantra is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam because the Gayatri Mantra is especially meant for God realization. It represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people, and when one attains success in chanting it, he can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. One must first acquire the qualities of the perfectly situated person, the qualities of goodness according to the laws of material nature, in order to chant the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is very important in Vedic civilization and is considered to be the sound incarnation of Brahman. Brahma is its initiator and it is passed down from him in disciplining succession. Now coming to the 36th slok, which says, I am also the gambling of cheats and of the splendid, I am the splendor. I am victory, I am adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. There are many kinds of cheaters all over the universe. Of all cheating processes, gambling stands supreme and therefore represents Krishna. As the Supreme, Krishna can be more deceitful than any mere man. If Krishna chooses to deceive a person, no one can surpass him in his deceit. His greatness is not simply one-sided, it is all-sided. Among the victorious, he is victory. He is the splendor of the splendid. Among the enterprising and industrious, he is the most enterprising, the most industrious. Among the adventurers, he is the most adventurous. And among the strong, he is the strongest. When Krishna was present on earth, no one could surpass him in strength. Even in his childhood, he lifted Govardhan hill. No one can surpass him in cheating. No one can surpass him in splendor. No one can surpass him in victory. No one can surpass him in enterprise, and no one can surpass him in strength. Now coming to the 37th slok, which says, of the descendants of Varanasi, I am Vasudev, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Usana. Now coming to the explanation of the slok. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Baldev is Krishna's immediate expansion. Both Lord Krishna and Baldev appeared as sons of Vasudev, and both of them may be called Vasudeva. From another point of view, because Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, all the forms of Krishna that appear elsewhere are his expansions. Vasudev is Krishna's immediate expansion, so Vasudev is not different from Krishna. It is to be understood that the Vasudev referred to in this verse of Bhagavad Gita is Baldev or Balram, because he is the original source of all incarnations, and thus he is the sole source of Vasudev. The immediate expansions of the Lord are called personal expansions, and there are also expansions called separated expansions. Amongst the sons of Pandu, Arjuna is famous as Dhananjaya. He is the best of men and therefore represents Krishna. Among the Munis or learned men conversant in Vedic education, Vyasa is the greatest because he explained Vedic education in many different ways for the understanding of the common mass of people in this age of Kali. And Vyasa is also known as an incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, Vyasa also represents Krishna. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the Kavis, Usana Sukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. The Sukracharya is another representative of the opulence of Krishna. Now coming to the 38th slok, which says, among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement represents Krishna. Amongst those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking and meditating, silence is the most important because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Now coming to the 39th slok, it says, furthermore, O Arjun, I am generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or non-being that can exist without me. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Now coming to the 40th slok, it says, O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply, a few examples are being described to Arjun to pacify his inquisitiveness. Now coming to the 41st slok, which says, know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Now coming to the explanation of the slok. Any glorious or beautiful existence should be understood to be but a fragmental manifestation of Krishna's opulence, whether it be in the spiritual or material world. Anything extraordinary, opulent should be considered to represent Krishna's opulence. Now coming to the 42nd slok, it says, but what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Now coming to the explanation of this slok. The Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universes by his entering into all things as the Supersoul. The Lord here tells Arjun that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Supersoul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant. All are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. Krishna is the origin of everything born and no one is greater than him. He is Asamma Rodhava, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Shri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the Supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees therefore concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can sustain the highest devotion perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baladeva Vidyabhusan, a great acharya in disciplining succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, "From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Shri Krishna is worshipable." With this, we end the Bhakti Vedanta purports to the 10th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the opulence of the Absolute. We have covered all the 42 shlokas of this chapter, and we are going to continue with the 11th chapter, which is the universal form, in the next video. My name is Disha, and I will see you all in the next video.